This is Duke University.
In Pakistan's recent history, in the last 3-4 decades, due to its the country's involvement in Afghan jihad against Soviet Union, a whole group of mujahideen was trained with American support, with Saudi support, and how these various militias continue to operate in different guises and in different forms, and have actually grown. Sometimes they take the shape of Taliban, sometimes, and now they have kind of transformed into Pakistani Taliban that are attacking Pakistani state and its people. And of course, the approach that Pakistan is taking is a very militaristic one, where the hideouts of the terrorist outfits are being bombed, and which has pushed them out towards Afghanistan. But my view was that is just one part of this whole battle. The other part is to give all citizens equal rights, particularly in conflict zones, and undertake development and create a more inclusive society for them, which restores their faith in Pakistani state and which allows them the chance of carrying out a normal life. The tribal belt that borders Pakistan and Afghanistan, are also known as FATA. It is still governed by colonial laws, where people do not have even basic rights. They don't have police. They don't have courts. The menace of the British laws still continues. Like there's a heinous law called collective punishment. So if there's one person who's an offender or has committed a crime, his or her entire family will be punished, or his tribe will be punished for that particular offense, and that needs to go away, because it's for 70 years Pakistan has not reformed that law and has allowed all sorts of groups, particularly the militant groups, to operate freely. And now they're limiting the space, but they also need to mainstream that place and give it all the constitutional rights that Pakistanis deserve. And it goes the same for, we were talking about Iraq and Syria. That is exactly what needs to happen. Your central authority, a credible state which has legitimacy in the eyes of the people, that needs to be rebuilt. And for that, a lot of work needs to be done in terms of state building, and outsiders can't really do it. The US tried to do it in Afghanistan and Iraq, but as we know that those projects have not been successful. In fact, there's a whole debate going on in the US about the failure of both Iraq and Afghanistan policy. So it is the organic groups and the political groups within those countries who have to build and rebuild their state and rebuild institutions of governance with least possible interference from the outside world. And Pakistan has also been under the Saudi influence and in its orbit, with so much money coming into the seminaries since Afghan jihad times, which have trained these cadres of militias, with a very sectarian, violent agenda against rival sects, against non-Muslims, and we are now Pakistanis have lost nearly 70,000 people, including 7,000 to 8,000 security personnel, and it's paid a very heavy price for following this path of raising extremist militias to either achieve foreign policy goals in Afghanistan or to counter the large neighbor India. And that whole network and infrastructure has to go away. So the seminaries have to be reformed, hate speech has to be curbed, but most importantly, the Muslim clerics, the Muslim intelligentsia in these countries, whether it's Pakistan, whether it's Iraq, whether it's the Middle East, other Middle Eastern countries, they have to come up and say, this is wrong, this is a misapplication, misunderstanding, and total abuse of early Islamic history.